Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing for the May 14th Al-Anon readings in Courage to Change and a Little Time for Myself. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. I will take a moment and look this over. The question is, what small changes am I making today as a result of working the Al-Anon program? And the passage starts with a person describing that how broken they were when they first came to Al-Anon, how they didn't really speak with any emotion. They heard repeatedly progress, not perfection at their meetings. And then they remembered a family vacation where they were going up a mountain. And while they were traveling, it was difficult to tell that they were on an incline. But when this person looked behind them, they could see how much progress they could make, that they had made. And they felt like their higher power had given them that reminder to let them know how far they had come in their recovery. Today's reminder, when we look back, we can see changes that we've made. And no matter how small those changes are progress. In the quote is from Opening Our Hearts, Transforming Our Losses, and it's about progress, not perfection, reminding us that it is a process. Our recovery is a process. So what small changes am I making today as a result of working the Al-Anon problem? My gosh, so many. Whenever I get uptight about something, I think about easy does it. I think about everything and everyone being perfectly imperfect. My expectation is just imperfection. And things are so much easier that way. Easy does it, progress not perfection, live and let live, how important is it? All these things, the concept of humility, all these things came to me in my recovery once I came to Al-Anon. So specifically, what small changes am I making today? Let's think of a small change that I've made today. I can think of 2. They may seem silly, but nonetheless, they are changes that I made because they work for me. And I hope I don't forget them while I'm talking about them. Oh my gosh. So one of them is that I have started to go to my volunteer job a couple of hours a day instead of the full shift. And that's because it works better for me. So that's one thing that I'm doing. And it's really like re-energized my enthusiasm, my appreciation and love for the people that I volunteer with. And it's really been like really great for me. So I'm so glad I did what works for me. And that I learned that in Al-Anon, to do what works for me. I love that. I love that so much. And the second thing is I go out and I pull dandelions out of our yard, even though they're beautiful. They're so sunny and yellow and pretty, and they feed the rabbits. And luckily, in our yard there are lots of different forms of vegetation to feed the rabbits and the birds and the beautiful earthworms and any other creatures that come into the yard. But this time last year was much different. There was like a complete infestation. And I could only do small patches at a time. This year, I am at the point where I don't even need to bring like a container to hold all of them. I can just like pick them, put them in my left hand and dig them out with my right hand and then put them in my left hand. I can do the whole yard and then put them in a receptacle to bring to recycling. So that's just progress, not perfection. That is easy does it. That is perfectly imperfect, right? Like all those things go through my head because at one point I may have thought, before recovery, I may have thought, well, I just can't, this is bigger than I am. I just can't manage this. I'm just going to let them take over. No, it's taken time, progress. And it's been a process, but I feel like the yard like really looks well maintained this year. And like I'm not saying that everybody should do this. I'm saying that just we made the decision like not to use any kind of pesticide on the grass. Like you do you, it's all good, but like we decided not to. So or any even weed killer. So like this is what works for us. And I know that may seem like a silly example, but like to me that's what I'm thinking of today because like I'm really like looking at the yard makes me smile because it's coming along really well. So, small changes. I like to keep things as easy as possible, not overcomplicate. All right, I'm going to take a minute and look this over. This is one of those days where the two readings and the two different books really match up. This is about making progress in our program. And it's saying that in our recovery, we need diligence, patience, and consistency for the best results. This means consistently attending meetings, working the steps, applying the principles to our entire life. So sometimes we may feel like we're making progress, and sometimes we may feel like our progress is at a standstill. And when I read this, it just reminds me of like losing weight. Man, it's so easy to gain weight. It's so difficult to lose weight. It is so difficult to lose weight. That's a whole different topic. But it says, just as we feel like we're stuck, something happens and we can feel that we're moving forward. And we see that no time has been wasted. We've been working our program. Sometimes they call it a quiet absorption. I love that. and we find that it's worth the wait. The progress we make is worth the wait. Today's reminder, we keep coming back to make our progress, and the quote is a Turkish proverb. It's about patience, the importance of patience, and how our lives become so much richer when we are patient. Al-Anon has definitely taught me about being patient and listening, like being quiet, listening. And I keep coming back because I need those reminders all the time. And yeah, the part about it being so much easier to gain weight than to lose weight. My partner and I went to Florida. We got back over a month ago. We went for less than a week, close to a week, less than a week though. And we just ate like royalty. We even said we stayed with our friends. They're so hospitable. They're such good people. And, they invited us to stay for longer next year. And I said, but I said, that sounds like a great idea. We have to, there are multiple factors that need to be worked out before we decide if we can do that, because we have a cat and our other friend watches our cat, and that's a lot to ask. And, it goes on and on. But they said it before I said it. But if you stay longer, we'll have to change the way we do things because we eat so much. I said, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Because I gained 5 pounds in 5 days. It's like breakfast, lunch, dinner, treats, dessert. Our friend makes homemade ice cream. It's so good. I can't do that every day. I can't do that every day. There is not enough time in a day to exercise all of that consumption off. So that's not new to me. In 2019, we went with some other friends to New Orleans to the 50th Jazz Festival, which was incredible. But again, we were only there for, I think, 3 or 4 days. I gained 5 pounds because they have these things called frozen cafe lattes, I think. Frozen cafe latte. Holy mackerel. And it's like 100 degrees there in, I think it was the beginning of April. Literally, it's summer. It is summer in New Orleans. And when it's where I live, like today is in the 60s. In New Orleans, I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know for a fact, but I'm guessing it's like probably in the 80s, like it is in Florida. And it's really humid. So we were at the Jazz Fest, and I would get one of these frozen cafe lattes every day because they were fantastic. And I would also get caramel apples. I don't eat those anymore. They're not good for my teeth. But I do like a frozen coffee. So anyway, tangent. But when I do feel like my tendency to overindulge in food is connected to me working my Al-Anon program. It's about taking care of myself. It's about humility, feeling worthy. It's about managing my inner chatter and being peaceful and serene with right here, right now, being grateful. So that's why, even though it was a tangent, to me, it's all connected. So with that, we'll close out with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.